Hello there, brick fans. Knox here for Budget Bricks, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at my next Winter Village update. If you saw my last haul video, you know that I finally have all the pieces I need for finishing up City Hall right here. So we're going to take a look at that and the progress for finishing up that building, as well as being able to get to work on the rest of that Mills plate that it sits on, for doing the ice for the skating rink, as well as finishing up a few of the snow areas and sidewalk. So let's get into it. So here's City Hall in its unfinished state. As you can see, it's mostly complete. I just have a few areas left to finish. You'll notice down here I've got these dark gray 1x4 tiles with the studs on the ends, that those need to get switched out to the tan color. And then I've got the columns here on the front facades that need to be finished. You can tell the one here on the right is the finished look that I'm going for. I finally got the bar pieces that I'll need for being able to finish the columns both here on the left section as well as over on the right. And there's just a few tweaks here and there. The window pieces came in for being able to finish up this window bank on the right. And so I'll go ahead and get these pieces disassembled and get the work done to them, and then I'll show you how it all goes together. So here it is in its disassembled state. As you can see, it's in about 9 main pieces. Obviously here we've got the main building itself, which is all for the most part one piece together. Everything's pretty well solidly connected. One thing you'll notice is that this is no finished interior, and I don't really care what it looks like on the inside. As you can see, I've got some of the like adventurers, like Mayan type ruin stickers still on those wall elements. You can see I've kind of got just the green, red, and black just thrown, randomly on both sides of the City Hall. We've got the the central windows here. So yeah, the remaining pieces are, we've got 2 mirror images of we've got the roof sections here, and one on the right, one on the left. And so all of this is basically everything that you see on the right is identical on the left. Actually, these pieces here and here are identical, just put in the left and right orientations on the building. It's just, I guess, the 2 roof elements that are just mirror images of each other. One thing you'll notice under here, it's got all those 1x1 clips with the vertical clips on the sides. A little bit of greebling going on there. And then underside here, I've got these Technic pins with just the studs on one end for being able to do kind of a upside down building technique for putting in the columns. So that's how I'm able to get the columns to be able to go in that, and like I said, the upside down orientation. The only way this works is if you actually have bricks. Like, you couldn't do this with just a row of plates on the bottom. It has to be a full brick in order to be able to get that pin all the way in. One of the few kind of illegal techniques, I guess, if you will, is this chimney piece here. You can see it's a 2-piece on top of a 1x1 brick with studs on both sides, and then a couple of cheese wedges. And I've used that to kind of go in the middle here, and it's slightly studded in. I don't know if you can see here, I've got this jumper plate, but it just barely catches, so it's not a complete stud in. So that's probably the one illegal technique that I use in this build. We've got the center turret here, which will go on top of these, spaced in between these 2 studs on each side, that this 4 wide will then connect into both. So yeah, we've got this Snock Technique side of the building. The orientation should be just sitting like this, but obviously I have it up on the side, and the way I wanted to do this is because I wanted to achieve kind of that smooth curved look all the way up, as opposed to using just like an elbow brick, which then you would see the the stud openings for how it studs in, and it just doesn't look clean and polished like this does. So this is really my first really big snot usage, and I think it turned out pretty well. It fits perfectly and snugly, and I'll get into that in a minute when I start putting everything together, show you how perfectly it fits over this window section here. And then we've got, you know, the small middle window section, which is just a wall with half a plate bump out for the window pieces there, and then the center arch, a couple of pieces there that'll have to get connected in a different series, and then just, you know, identical parts over there just for the other side. So I'll go ahead and start assembling this. I'll get the camera set up on my tripod and we'll take a look from there. First thing that's going to need to go in are these center wall elements. Those will get put in, and they're jumper plated, half step in, and then just go over top again. There's a jumper plate here to meet up with the middle. I'm just running a row of tiles to connect those in on either side. We got the second one going in. Again, same thing, just all mirror images side to side. And we're able to put this arch piece over top of that. And then for the side elements, you can see it just sets down like so, pushes in, and then what I thought was really cool how the Lego math worked out on this is that the height of this wall on the side matches perfectly with this with the, you know, the snot wall here, so that the heights line up perfectly, and all I have to do with these 3x3 quarter curves, just put them on like that, and they stud in perfectly to both the wall and this section here. So then we just again repeat it over on this side. It was a really fun technique. I was messing around with this. I can't tell you how many different iterations of this different design that I made. I went back and redid it several times trying to get it all to work in, getting these lines to match up here as well as the heights and everything, and it all came in pretty seamlessly, and I was pretty happy with it, really, for my first, like I said, my first major attempt at snot technique. So yeah, then we've got the 1x1x5 bricks there going on, and that holds it all pretty snugly in place, not going anywhere. Again, on the same on the sides. Got the roof sections going in. These can be a little bit trickier just because there's quite a few different points of contact that it has. Try to keep it pretty minimal. There's a lot of tile, but still several points that it's got to stud in, so there's some. So it's a little bit tricky getting all this put in. You gotta make sure that it's all pushed in really well on both sides, because getting this centerpiece in can be a little tricky and tight fit, but it came together pretty well. So now that goes in there. Go up a little bit, take a look at that, and then got the final large piece that just sets in here. You can see the technique that I used for all three of these arches, both on the sides and in the center, was actually doing a kind of a snot arch with using the bricks with studs on the sides, and then putting a couple of different styles. We have the loop curve style arch on this, and then more of your straight curve going along for the middle one. But I think they turned out really nice, giving it a little more character than just going with your brick arch. So yeah, we'll take a spin around the back. This is all just a facade, so the back, there's really nothing special about that. Pretty plain. This whole mock is meant to be viewed from the front, so everything in the back is just basically filler. I did not have enough of the 1x6x5 wall panels to be able to finish this completely, so I just threw this 1x12 arch in there just as a filler for now. Eventually, when I get some more of those, I may go through and rework that wall, but again, since it's in the back, nobody's really going to be seeing it, so not too worried about it. So there are all those pieces put together. One thing I have left to do is put these columns in, and I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera just because that's some pretty tedious work. So I'll put those in and show you the final product. So here it is, Town Hall finally complete. Definitely some tedious work getting these columns in here, but I think they definitely add a lot to that front facade. Now this whole building was actually built off of a reference photo that I found. I believe it was an old pub in England, and I'll show that right now. So you can see that there's, pretty similar to what I put on there. Obviously the center windows here, there's, a couple missing, but with the size that I had to work with, this was already wider than I had been originally intending for the town hall. So yeah, it's not quite to scale and missing, not 100% accurate, but the overall design I think came out pretty close to what was there in that reference photo. So that's it with this. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at that Mills plate. So here's the center Mills plate that the town hall sets on. If you remember from my last video, it was not, fully complete. So I've finished putting all the white plates in here for the snow, and I actually decided, I know I had been debating in my last video what I was going to do with those little booths for the goodie booths and things like that, and I decided to remove them from the front of the town hall and move those to the side plates. And so I'm just going to have a center area of snow here. Still not sure if I'm going to be doing either lamp posts or little trees in those kind of courtyard areas. But yeah, you can see back here, this area, all this green plate and stuff, that's where the town hall will sit. So the next thing that I want to work on is I'm actually going to be doing some wrought iron work fencing along here, putting all the translucent light bluish tile here in the skating rink. So I'm actually going to try a little bit of time lapse and see how that goes. Alright, so here's the center Mills plate section, fairly nearly complete. I really liked how this wrought iron fencing ended up turning out. Basically the idea for that came up with, I just have so many of these black bars here, and I figured that, find a creative way to be able to use those pieces. Again, they have a ton of these black connector pins for the Technic, and these ball pins here actually worked really well for just a decorative end for the wrought iron fence. So yeah, really happy with that turned out. I think it adds a lot, kind of really polishes off the whole courtyard type look for the town hall. Yeah, I got over on that side. Now this lamppost here is temporary, although I'm liking the way it's looking. As you can see, I'm using those paint rollers there to add a lot of character to these lampposts. I've just got the one set up right now, and the only thing really holding me up from being able to build a second one is these minifig heads in the trans clear. There's just not very many in my collection, So basically what's here is what I've got. So at some point I'll be needing to make an order for those. But I'm liking how that looks, and actually there'll be 3 more placed on these posts for the skating rink as well. So yeah, I've got quite a few of those to order yet. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turns out. The skating rink, I think, looks really good. It'll be a nice addition. The one thing I have yet to do is finish up the fountain on that. Obviously I need an 8x8 dish, as well as trying to figure out a little bit more of how I want to finish and with the top here. So nearly complete, not 100%, and not that I'll ever be 100%, because I'm always the one who likes to continue to tinker and mess around with different designs that I have, so I'm sure that even when it's finished, it'll never be fully complete. So anyways, there it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at the outro. So that's going to do it for this update on the Winter Village. Thanks for sticking around. I know this was a little bit of a lengthy video, but I hope you enjoyed the different things that you saw, whether it was the process for putting together the town hall or the time-lapse on the skating rink. I had some fun putting it together. It was nice for me to finally be able to have those pieces and to be able to, for the most part, complete this center mill section for the Winter Village. It's been a long time coming. Like I said, I've been working on this for nearly 10 months, just, again, as I've waited for pieces to come in, as I've waited for the budget to allow for, you know, the money that I'll need for making these orders and things. So yeah, one thing that I did want to address in this video is I actually recently received a comment on one of my videos, my Lego room tour, from Jumansa19, and he was making some comments about how my video quality is somewhat poor, as well as the lighting, and I responded to him in that comment, but I did agree with him that those things that he said are true, but I just wanted to respond to that as to why that is. Right now, I'm just doing this for the fun of it. I know that with better video quality, better lighting quality, I could probably appeal to more people and potentially get more subscribers, but right now I'm just doing this for the fun of it. I'm just recording these videos on my camera phone, which is nothing fancy, just a Motorola camera phone, so nothing too fancy. The lighting with this, again, not much I can do. This is a temporary setup, like I said. I'm not planning on doing a whole lot of reworking to the lighting. So at some point, I would like to be able to get better lighting, to get better equipment for being able to film, if that looks like this is something I want to more seriously get into, and if it looks like people are more serious about the content that I'm putting out. One thing I would be interested is to see if any of you have any tips for me as far as ways that I could increase the quality of my videos without really having to put out a lot of money, or at least budget it pretty efficiently. I'm very new to this whole process, so any tips and advice would be helpful and appreciated. I definitely don't mind the negative comments. I appreciate constructive criticism, because that's only going to help me to be able to improve my videos. So yeah, feel free to comment any way that you'd like. Thank you again all so much for watching. Hope to see you again in the next video. And remember, for Lego on a budget, think budget bricks. God bless.